Hello, everybody. This is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into a trade this morning on the Emini NASDAQ. Saw a good opportunity, so we'll go over the analysis and then see how it turns out. Before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about what I've been using lately as levels, and sort of want to give some sort of guidelines of what I have noticed to be quite useful in determining, where to get in, where to get out, and so forth. I'm going to zoom out for the time being, and so what I've been doing lately is I've been drawing lines from the previous day where there was a lot of buying or selling. Okay, so this is Friday, so we don't really count Sunday because there's, the volatility just isn't there. But looking at Friday, what I did is I took the two areas where there was the most amount of buying and the two areas where there's the most amount of selling in the MBox delta. All right, and then what I did is I drew lines where that peak was. For example, here, so at the peak of this box, I drew a line here. So I know at this line, this blue line right here corresponds to this demand in the MBox delta. This blue line here corresponds to the demand here. And I also drew a line here. So I know at this blue line and this blue line, there's a lot of demand. All right. Historically, well, compared to the previous day. So since today is Monday, I'm using Friday. And then conversely, where there was a lot of selling in the MBox delta, this here selling corresponds, right? I drew a line here, so this orange line means there's a lot of selling, and this orange line means there's a lot of selling right here. This red line is just the low of the previous day, so where there's a lot of selling is also almost where the low was. And I also drew right here. I guess let me go back. Let's see what's going on with our trade. Okay, looks like we're doing well. And this green line on top right here, that's the previous day's high. All right, so because what I've noticed, if you use lows and highs of the previous day, sometimes they're just too far out. Like this red line here and this green line here, it's way too far out for the current trading day to give us any context right now. So it doesn't really, it's not really helpful. So what I wanted to show was that for the, pre-market, price, so these orange lines, this one, there's a lot of selling the previous day. We got close to it here, but there's no follow through to come or break through it. And so at the open, which happened on this huge bar here, I saw that before the market opened, we began coming down to this blue line here. Again, this blue line and this blue line are areas that there was previously a lot of buying in the MBox delta. And very interesting because you see at this blue line, huge bar up. Just huge bar up. So it's like at this previous level where there was a lot of buying, it seems like there's a lot of demand. The price action alone speaks for this because you can draw a box and see that it engulfs like 30 bars or so. And that's very important. All right, so we have also here, it looks like we're really making progress quickly, much quicker than I was anticipating. But let's draw the risk reward then. Oh, I didn't want to move that. Sometimes this tool is tricky to use, so I'm just gonna. So I got in here, and I'm going for a profit here. So that doesn't look very pretty, but all right. So let's. Okay. So do a text on the left. Okay, so our risk reward is 4. Okay, so that's really good. Target 176 ticks. Okay. Didn't want to do that. All right, so that's about right. So anyway, so when we open, not only I saw that we engulfed about 30 bars. This candle happened at the previous days where there was a lot of demand, so that was significant. You know, it's an area of previous area of demand. I'm gonna draw that somehow here. Right, this blue line right here. So previous day, very strong demand. All right, so that's what that line represents. Okay, and also we had this buy imbalance plus 33, which means there's more buying than selling. So that's very interesting that it coincides with this previous line, buy imbalance, and a spring signal. So we got plus 33 buy imbalance, and we got a spring buy signal. Right here. Okay. Also, we've got a big pace of offers, which means that the speed of the offers is coming in really quickly. Big pace of offers. All right. And it's interesting because it looked like we had quite a bit of supply in the cumulative delta, but the thing I did notice was this huge drop. We went from here to here, so that's a huge drop in supply. So that also points to a change in behavior. We had this huge drop in supply. So I'm showing what I saw at the time I placed my trade. Now that the trade's in action, we're seeing that the demand is coming in. So demand is flowing in. And this looks interesting. If we're gonna continue with our bullishness, this looks like it could be, well, I was gonna say effort, no result, but I guess we'll see. So at the time I took the trade, so I saw all these things. So again, the engulfing candle coinciding with the previous day, very strong demand at this level, buy imbalance, spring buy. We did see initial demand in the MBox Delta, huge drop in supply and big pace of offers. So that's like how many points? 1, the engulfing is a 2, imbalance is a 3, spring is a 4. I did see demand here, that's 5. The drop is 6, and big pace of offers 7. So I saw 7 things that coincide with each other. So that's the goal of what I'm always trying to do, is I'm trying to see what coincides. And if we zoom out, let's see here. So the pace of offers is not as big as yesterday's here, but that was in the afternoon, but it is still significant. And while I didn't see huge demand in the cumulative delta, again I saw that really strong price action, where right here in the previous day there was a lot of buying. So that's what I'm talking about here, are the MBox levels, using the previous day's MBox delta to determine where to draw these support and resistance lines. And it looks like it's pretty effective, because the low and high, here's the high for the day, here's the low, they're not really relevant since price is too far away from it. Alright, so let's see what we see here. We're seeing a pullback. Oh yeah, that's it looks like it is effort result, because look at this box right here, compare it to this box here, and we're spending a lot more selling here. Alright, so we're already $6,000 in profit, over $6,000 in profit. Alright, so I'll just pause the record, and we'll come back when there's more to see. Okay, so we're back now, and I didn't catch it on video. This bar went up pretty quickly, but I did hit the target, and we're up for the day almost $9,000, $8,850. That trade worked out pretty nicely. It looks like we could be poised to go higher, and this price action looks very strong, but hit the goal for the day, so that's good. And didn't spend that much time trading either. That was like 15 minutes the actual trade, but of course doing the homework beforehand takes time. So to recap, I placed my take profit, this blue line, because this was also previous level where there was a lot of buying in the previous day. So these sort of MBox levels that I drew here, the two orange lines right here and the blue lines, served as a very useful guide for how to trade this today. And while the high right here and the low, they're just too far away to really be relevant. So it looks this technique worked out pretty well. So that's another thing you can add to your toolbox for entering and exit strategies. So that's it for me today then. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it was useful, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.